I wanted to share with you a quick practice that you can do either one or all three of these exercises to work through your upper spine, mid spine, and low spine. So it's a variation on cat-cow, and again, we're going to do this in 3 different postures. So start and use what feels good for you that day. Let's all start in cat-cow on tabletop. So making our way to tabletop. And if you want to have a block nearby or a blanket, that can be a really nice biofeedback tool. But what we're going to do is, starting with our head down, we're going to segment and move the spine in 3 separate ways. So the first is pretty easy. We're used to this. Our head. You can tip your head yes and no. And that moves the top part of our spine, or the cervical spine. So see how that feels. And you notice here I'm stabilizing my mid back and my low back. So it's just the head and neck that are moving. All right, the next easiest spot to do is the low back. So here we're going to tip and tilt our pelvis, trying to stabilize the mid back and head. Again, if you want to try a biofeedback tool, you can stick, I'm actually going to use my right hand to do it. You can stick a block on that mid back and see if you can move the tail without moving the block. Nice and tricky. You'll notice my lovely assistant Saffron here coming to help me. All right, so after a little while and that feels comfortable, you can then maybe shift the block down to the low back. So again, we're going to keep the low back and our neck still and work just with our mid back, that thoracic spine. So here you'll notice it's more of a movement to drop the chest down in our cow and then to press the shoulder blades away from each other in the cat motion. So it feels a little different. Again, I can feel that block wiggling, which is okay. It's not that the rest of your spine won't move. We're just trying to keep them as stable as possible. Something a little helpful for that would be keeping the low belly here engaged, back. There we go. And again, after that feels good, we can try moving the whole spine, again in that big cat-cow motion. So you tuck your head, tuck your tail, and then inhale, lift the tail, drop the belly and chest, lift the head, and move through that as it feels good in your body. And as promised, we can also do this a couple of different ways. So the second way might be seated. I like to come to an easy seated pose. If your hips are feeling a little tight, mine always are, you can bring a block or blanket under that. That really shows the nice disparity in my hips, but that's okay. And again, we can do our cat-cows here. If you have a block, you might have a little more resistance in tipping and tilting the pelvis, but that's okay, give it a try. So again, start with the neck. That's easy. We can lift our chin and tuck our chin nice and easily. And then again, move to the pelvis. Maybe you tip it forward and round it back. And you might feel a little different pressure on the sits bones or different spots on the sits bones as you're doing this. You might feel a little relaxation of the belly as you stick it forward, and then a little tuck as you pull it back. And then again, same thing. I might even turn sideways so you can see this. We can work with the upper spine, rounding that back, and then sticking our chest out forward, like a Superman or woman pose. And again, I notice here a little bit of tip tilt in my pelvis when I do my chest. So maybe you can bring your hands to the pelvis to see if you can stabilize it just a little bit. But that's one option. And then our final option is standing. Same thing here. Nice easy movement to start with the head, up and down. We got that. That one's easy. The pelvis again, maybe you stick the booty out and then tuck your tail, maybe lifting those front hips up towards the rib cage. So that's Our second option, or our second movement here in this series. And the third one again is that chest. Maybe we stick out the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, really broaden across our collarbone, and then round the back here. Again, just like in tabletop, this is a really good place to stabilize the low hips by squeezing the belly in. So again, you can use the hands as your biofeedback tool for the movement of the hips and low back. And again, it's not that they're not going to move while you're doing this. Maybe you just move it a little bit less. It's not so dramatic. And again, seated and standing, you can do that huge cat-cow motion, rounding everything, lifting it up. It all feels a little different as you work through the body. So I encourage you to play with that. See how it feels to move in those three different segments of your spine. The cervical, thoracic, and then lumbar and the low back. Give it a try, see where you have a little bit more movement, see where it maybe feels a little restricted, and go slow with these exercises. Breathe in and out and work with your body. Give it a try. If you have questions, pop me a note. I'll be happy to help, and I hope this helps you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.